Breaking news out of Pulaski tonight. No one is injured, but there was a large blaze downtown. Fire officials say that building was home to 2 businesses and several apartments.
These 20 departments responded to the fire, including Pulaski, Green Bay, Howard, Seymour, and Suamico. Officials have blocked off parts of West Pulaski Street and South St. Augustine Street. Take a look at the video right now. Fire officials say the fire started on the 2nd floor and worked its way down until it collapsed from the inside. We're told now LeCount Auctions and a hair salon were damaged in the collapse. Departments then used an excavator to knock down the front wall to avoid more collapses and to further expose the blaze. Officials say 14 tender trucks have been shuttling water from a site about a mile away, so area residents do not have to worry about their water supply. Investigators say they have not determined the cause for the fire.
We have a good idea on the cause, yes. We want to be a little bit more facts oriented and give that out. The fire will still be burning. It'll probably be burned throughout the night because of all the building collapse on the interior.
The JK says West Pulaski Street will remain closed overnight. The American Red Cross is helping those who were displaced by that fire.